Hey, air signs, greetings, Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers. Welcome back to Wizdom Dropz, your source for daily drops of wisdom and savvy cat astrology. Well, my name is Tanya, and today, as your fellow air sign Libra sun, I am here to deliver your Your Aries new moon. That was definitely like a brain rot. I don't know what happened. Your Aries new moon report for the month of April 2021. So if you're a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, then this video is for none other than you. And before we jump on into it, if you are looking to learn astrology once and for all and get serious about it and be able to interpret all of what a chart is, any given chart that you're looking at, I am offering an astrology school, and you see the like cat hair flying in my this is a very interesting video. Let me just take a step back and say that. But if you actually want to learn astrology, I am doing that again, and you can schedule a consultation call with me in the link down below, Airsign, to talk more about those details. It's a 26-week long program. We meet live every weekend, once a week, and I deliver to you fun, interactive activities. You collaborate with your fellow cohort members to achieve team goals, individual goals, and we basically just learn astrology together, and I kind of coach you through the process, and it's part lecture, part game. Most of it is like interactive, and so you get to like create your own answers after I give you a little bit of information, so that your brain gets used to applying the information instead of just absorb. And then I'm there to support you as you have questions along the way. So it's really cool. You can see what my students have to say about it themselves using the video link that I'm throwing somewhere up in here. Okay. Gorgeous. Thank you to everybody who supports this channel, by the way. I put a lot of time into these videos, so I appreciate everybody who likes them. And, that's a huge way to support this content. It costs you nothing, so I really appreciate those of you who do that. It's like a really cool way to like say thank you and like keep our vibe like really positive. And thanks to all the commenters and the positive just vibes you bring. So with that said, let's start off with Gemini. So Gemini, Ascendant, Sun, and Moon people, this is for you. Your new moon in Aries is happening in your 11th house, Gemini. And so this is all about your kind of networks that you are a part of, and your larger groups of people that you have around you accessible to you, your allies and your fellow aliens, as I've heard a clever cosmic homegirl astrologer mention once or twice before. So that is going to be like where you are engaging yourself with this energy. It's going to be about new beginnings in those realms. So long story short, Gemini, you got some new stuff bumping over the next month in relationship to larger initiatives that you could tag onto or be a part of. Different people from organizations and institutions might reach out to you for your skills, or just groups that you are a part of. When you are a part of so many as a Gemini, right? You know so many people as a Gemini. You're a very social sign. Uh, and they know you for your craft, very likely if you're a Gemini, because that's who you are, your craft, you're crafty, you have skills and so forth. So people probably know you for that, and you are on their radar for that. You are in their wavelengths, regarding a new opportunity that will come to full fruition over the next 6 months, because in 6 months' time, that's when we have a full moon in Aries. So it takes that long for things to really kind of settle out, you know what I'm saying? So just be aware that that is the kind of cycle in the season that you're a part of at this point in time, Gemini. So, and the dispositor of the moon, because the moon is ruled by Aries, is Mars, and that's in your first house of self. So this is a big life change and kind of like life defining energy for you as a Gemini. You have a lot of energy working in your favor at this time, Gemini, and it's important to remember that you are a part of other groups that will come back to serve you. And I would just suggest you set your intentions. If you are a Gemini out there, ascendant, sun, or moon, who's been maybe struggling a little bit, who's been maybe trying to figure out their life a little bit, and feels a little shaky about things, I would just remember that you are a part of a network. You are a part of a community that is large and vast. And there might be many people that don't know you personally, Gemini, but they know you by name. They know you by a couple positive encounters. And those people people are around in the ethers at this time, and those people can come through for you when you need them to. And if you want to take some specific targeted action, Gemini, and create something specific at this point in time that you've had a goal for, you are able to do that at this time. You're able to call upon these allies at this time and be perceived as a bit of the star talent, to be frank, because it's an Aries new moon. And you know, that's your 11th house, so you shine in those communities at this time. So man, that's a lot of really positive stuff. That's a rather auspicious house to have a new moon. It's the house of aspirations and dreams, you know. So I think that you as a Gemini with that, especially because the ruler of the moon, Mars, in the case of this Aries new moon, right, is in the first house of you. That's very profound. And the North Node is there. I think you're coming into some really big destined changes. And, you know, just a word of caution, Gemini, you do have Pluto from the 8th house, currently in hard aspect with the moon itself. So do not be surprised if you find that there are some losses, some tumultuous events that take place that you know, maybe you lose a job, maybe you, and then you gain one through your network real quick, like all in the same week, you know. Maybe you know, you lose something or somebody close to you, unfortunately. I don't know, God forbid, you know, but everybody's got their timing and just things going on that, but you know, in the best case, well, I'll say in another bad case, it would be, you know, people plotting somehow against you, Gemini, because the 8th house, and they're trying to cause you loss. But the thing is, I don't see it being very successful because there's just so much auspicious energy here in that 11th house. Just through multiple checks of astrology, there's like mutual reception with your planet and this planet. So I really am not too worried about you. I just want you to be aware that you are being called to do at the highest vibration some very deep shadow work, Gemini. And the more of that you lean into, do the shadow work, heal yourself, heal the parts of yourself you know need addressing at a subconscious, at a conscious, kind of like where you know you need to grow in your brain, but you're not going there yet. Be honest with yourself about that, because if you don't at this time, it will hold you back over the next month. That's some good advice. I think I'm gonna end that there, Gemini. I hope it serves you. And if it does, thank you for liking this video because it helps the channel grow. And that's really what we is all about, is sharing this information for free with the world, and just growing our community of people who, you know, want to be here for this. And also like growing my, you know, my platform and as an astrologer. So I appreciate everybody who participates in that with me. You know, I appreciate that. All right, cool. So here we go. We're gonna go Libra. Hey Libra, what's shaking, girl, boy? Who you doing? What you doing? Why did I say that? Freudian slip, but was it? New moon, okay, new moon in Aries. This is your 7th house, Libra. I'm sensing a lot of interesting stuff going on with your 7th house. You know, I'm like a weird Libra, but I'm thinking you, Libra, you're having some very interesting encounters in your life right now, for one way or another. And you know, you will know what this is meaning for you. I'm going to give you some scenarios. Everything related to business partners, lovers, people you're in union with, good friends, solid friends. Okay. Any of these core people, 7th house is an angular house, Libra. This is a big time new moon for you. Anything involving these people is going to be profound. You are going to find big shifts in your relationship. You are going to find big epiphanies in your relationship. And they could be about secrets, Uranus in the 8th house coming to surface, because that just happens to be a force at the table right now. And not many astrologers have talked about this that I've heard, but Uranus and Saturn are in an ongoing square. And I think for you as a Libra, you know, that definitely has to do with like the hidden, the secret that you have not spoken, or that others in relationships to you have not spoken. And as it relates to even like children, you could have like something come out with like a secret about your child or somebody else's child. Maybe you tell your child that their father is not the same father they thought. Something like that could totally play out at this point in time for any Libras out there, just saying. Also, like open enemies is the 7th house. So if you know people be hating you as a Libra, which let's be honest is kind of rare because you're just so beautiful and nice, you know, but who would hate you, you know? But sometimes people be petty like that. You feel Libra shit. And so with that said, just be aware those people might not be in your working in your favor right now, and they could be trying to thwart you from home, even because Pluto is in that fourth house square to lunation itself. So if there's somebody who you come from in your family who is unfortunately very toxic, Libra, and does not serve you, Libra, they don't help you, they don't have your best interests in mind, you know what I'm saying? Just be aware that that is something that's going to be coming up into the context for your awareness, and you're addressing, you know, you got to address that, you got to heal that, you got to work within that for yourself to make sure that you're taken care of. Now with that said, the dispositor, the seventh house, is in your ninth house, okay? And this is about aspirations that are coming to life. The ninth house is like the dreams come true, and the 11th house is like the dreams. So they're both dreams come true, but the ninth house is like your happiness, it's like your joy and your aspiration of happy. It's just the happiness, it's the wisdom as well, and it's a spiritual knowledge, and the it is very blissful, it's a blissful energy. The ninth house is a very blissful, joyful house. It has a lot to do with fortune, you know, and beneficial spiritual kind of energy. And you have Mars there, which is, you know, an aggressive planet, and the North Node. You're being asked to go after that, Libra. You're being asked to go after. You might be getting a second degree right now. You might be, you know, pursuing academia, in other words, ninth house, in a first degree, whatever. You know, the ninth house is going in pursuit of higher knowledge and wisdom. And as a Libra, you're probably spiritualizing a lot right now with that ninth house influence. So I think that, you know, because the dispositor of this is Mars, the ruling planet of Aries is Mars, and that's why we're in the ninth house, focusing on what's going on in Gemini for you. So Libra, I think a lot of new beginnings are going to be coming in relationships, though. You will be finding out more about who people you are in relationship are, one way or another, Libra. It will be becoming more and more clear to you over the next month. I think a lot of Libras out there are going to get some really big, powerful realizations about not only people they're in relationship with, but about how they want to be in relationship, period, with the world, with people in the world who mean something to them, with friends, okay? Um, you're reconstructing, you know, what it means to be joyful for yourself, and you're giving your creation, your creative forces have been dedicated to building a more serious, you know, project, probably with this Saturn in the fifth and Jupiter here. It's an ongoing thing, and I just want to acknowledge that you're in this cycle right now. You know, and Saturn is sending a really harmonious energy to Mercury, though, which is encouraging. You know, it's saying you're figuring it out, and you know what, it's making sense. And people in your life, there's probably a mixed bag in relationships right now, where some are showing something really ugly, some are showing something very beautiful, some are showing very selfishly, some are showing very supportively. And so this Mercury is really letting you know through all these busy relationships that you're engaged with at this point, Libra, because let's be real, you got a lot going on in relationships, especially right now with Mercury in your seventh house, okay? You're getting some long-term goggles on. You got your long-term viewers on. You got your head on straight, because you got from the fifth house, you know, you have Saturn there in harmonious conversation with that. So don't lose your perspective along the way. Remember your perspective, Libra, okay? And yeah, I think that's a really good point to move on to Aquarius. So if this video served you, Libra, thank you for liking it, because that helps the channel grow. And we're going to move on to Aquarius. So Aquarius is Sun and Sun and Moon people. If you are an Aquarius, Sun and Sun and Moon, then this is for you. You know what, this, you know, Aquarius, this is, I'm going to zoom forward so you can see yourself more clearly on the ascendant a little bit. There we go. So this lunation for you is in your third house, and this is all about your local community and your communications and how you think about the world, how you conceive of the world at a local level. How do you feel and conceptualize yourself as? What do you believe about day-to-day exchanges and how they should operate and how they need to work and what they need to do? How do you feel about that? What is that in the day-to-day that supports you, that serves you? You know, what is it in the day to day that you think about often and that possibly even harms you. At this time, you're being asked to think about what supports you. You're being asked to think about those locally who support you. You're being asked to communicate your thoughts on things. You're being asked to communicate, period, Aquarius. If you're an Aquarius, you should be spending the next month communicating. Communicate everything that you feel like communicating. You're being called to communicate. You need to write, you need to memo, you need to record, you need to do whatever you need to do to communicate yourself. Okay, communicate your thoughts, journal, talk to a friend. You need to communicate, Aquarius. If you're not communicating over the next month, you are not helping yourself at all. You need to think about, beyond just the thinking about it, you need to express it. New moon in Aries is very expressive. It's a very yang energy. It's very out there. And the Mars in the 5th house is all about expressing yourself creatively. So I think a lot of Aquarius people out there are going to be very called to express themselves creatively. Probably a lot of musicians and poets and authors and stuff who are really creating, big time artists who are really creating and communicating a lot right now, who are Aquarius ascendant, sun, or moons. So if you are an Aquarius, just think about that. Think about how you could be communicating more that you're currently not, and you're gonna be doing it. It's gonna be, Aries is very spontaneous, so just be careful you don't like fillet people in the process, Aquarius, because that is definitely like a potential. Like, don't be too brutal, don't be too like harmful, because you could harm right now with your creations, and ultimately whatever you cast out there comes back to you times 3. So don't don't be casting folly anywhere, because it will just come back to harm you all the more. And that's because as well, the new moon itself is in a square aspect to Pluto from your 12th, which is your imprisonment of self and your subconscious. So it'll come back to haunt you in terms of losses in the material world as well as the spiritual world, because the 12th house is activated with Pluto, one of the most karmic planets, in the entire planetary palette. And it's again coming from that 3rd house. So it's repercussions of verbal or written communications, or even thoughts like that you continue to think about people. So if you're an Aquarius, you're definitely being asked to kind of like purge that out right now, and to have a maybe like a purge, because you do have Chiron there. Talk about your feelings, with a friend, just vent, really just vent, Aquarius. I think a lot of that is going to be what's going to serve you under this lunation. So with that said, I hope it served you. And if it did, thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you to everybody who is a subscriber here and the new subscribers. So I appreciate all of you. If you want to learn astrology once and for all, we're starting in May. It's right around the corner. And I'm excited to rock and roll with that. So with that said, through next time, until next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.